I think one of the most important things that's happened right now is what Senator Bernie Sanders helped pull off. Senator Sanders, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Tom. Good to be with you.
Great to have you with us. Tell us about this block of 29 senators and what you guys are up to.
Well, I just had a press conference with Senators Whitehouse, Franken, and Begich, and we released a letter with 29 signatures on it, which basically says, do not cut Social Security. This country does have a deficit problem, but Social Security has not contributed one nickel to that deficit because it is funded by the payroll tax, not the general treasury. And in fact, Social Security has a $2.7 trillion surplus, can pay out every benefit owed to every eligible American for the next 21 years. And if some of the schemes for cutting Social Security get implemented, it will mean not just that seniors get cuts in Social Security, but disabled veterans as well. So bottom line here, Tom, is there is a real and growing effort on the part of Wall Street, virtually all Republicans, and some Democrats, I should say, to cut Social Security in the name of deficit reduction. Those cuts will be devastating to a lot of struggling seniors and to folks who are disabled veterans who put their lives on the line for this country. And we have got to rally and do everything that we can to say, yeah, we're going to deal with deficit reduction, but not on the backs of some of the most vulnerable people in this country. There are fair ways to do deficit reduction when the rich are becoming much richer and their effective tax rates are the lowest in decades. They've got to pay more in taxes. When a quarter of American corporations are paying zero in taxes, they have got to start paying taxes. When we are losing about $100 billion a year because of tax havens that exist in the Cayman Islands or Bermuda, and all these wealthy guys and corporations are stashing their money there to avoid paying taxes, we've got to deal with that issue. When you have a military budget today where we're spending almost as much as the entire rest of the world combined, you've got to take a hard look at military spending. There is, in fact, waste in government in various areas. There are ways to do deficit reduction without beating up unnecessarily and unfairly on seniors, on disabled vets, on widows and orphans. And
it seems, Senator Sanders, that one of the really great things about this block of 29 senators, you've got the Senate leadership in this.
Well, Harry Reid has been very, very strong on it. Chuck Schumer has been strong on it. And so has Patty Murray. So we have most of, but not all of the Democratic leadership. But here's what I fear, that A, the American people are not aware of what's going on and the attacks on Social Security. And B, after the election, you're going to have meetings led by CEOs of large corporations who are going to be telling members of the House and Senate how they should go about dealing with the deficit. And those ways will not be fair. And it's not just cutting Social Security. It'll be cuts in Medicare and Medicaid. Not as devastating, of course, as what the Romney and Ryan people want to do. But they will be painful nonetheless. So our job now is to focus on this issue. You got deficit reduction. It is real. How did we get to where we are today? Well, you got to where we are not because of Social Security. Social Security, as I said, has a $2.7 trillion surplus. We got to where we are in terms of the deficit is that when Bill Clinton left office, you'll remember in 2001, we had a $236 billion surplus.
Yeah.
So we are where we are today because of two wars that Bush and the other quote-unquote deficit hawks got us into and didn't pay for. Didn't pay for the wars, didn't pay for the tax breaks, didn't pay for the Medicare Part D program. That's how we got to where we are. And given that reality, it would be just very cruel and unfair to move toward balancing the budget on the backs of seniors and disabled vets.
Senator Sanders, last question. What can people who support what you and these 28 other senators are saying in this message that you're clearly conveying to the American people and to Congress, what can people do who support this?
And by the way, Tom, the overwhelming majority of the American people support this.
Yes.
Poll after poll after poll shows that even among conservatives, people do not believe that we should cut Social Security or that Social Security has anything to do with the deficit.
Yep.
So the answer is the American people who believe that, who are the vast majority, have got to rally. They've got to get on the phone right now and in a one-sentence statement tell their members of the House and the Senate, do not cut Social Security. It has nothing to do with the deficit. Simple as all that.
Yep. And callcongress.org, by the way, is a website that we put up that has several toll-free numbers as well as the regular number to the switchboard at the United States House and Senate. And you can simply, if you don't even know the name of your member of Congress, you can tell them where you live and they will look it up.
That's great. And that's exactly what we need. We need emails. We need to wake the American people up on this issue, because if they are asleep, I can assure you that our Wall Street friends and the other big money interests will move aggressively to a deficit reduction on the backs of people in this country who are already hurting, rather than asking the wealthiest people in this country who are doing phenomenally well and large corporations who are making record-breaking profits to stop paying their fair share of taxes. So it's a huge, huge issue. I think you're going to see it surface the day after the election, no matter who wins the presidency. And we have got to be aggressive in saying, do not balance the budget on the backs of people who are already hurting.
Well, wouldn't it be accurate to say, Senator Sanders, that by cutting Social Security, they're not doing anything about the budget, the budget deficit or the debt anyway? Right. That what they're really doing is they're taking us down the road to handing Social Security off to the billionaires on Wall Street. That's what Pete Peterson is all about, and he's funding half this stuff.
That's exactly a good half of that stuff. Pete Peterson, in case listeners don't know, is a Wall Street billionaire who is putting a huge amount of money into, exactly as Tom indicated, seeing that Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid are cut. And I think, Tom, your point is well taken. And that's what makes this debate so absurd. If somebody were to come up and say, okay, look, Social Security today can pay out benefits for the next 21 years, fine, but we want it to be stronger than that. How do we do that? Let's have that debate. I have legislation in, which, by the way, picked up on a proposal Obama made in the last campaign. And I should tell you that one of the concerns and fears that I have is that Obama is not talking about this issue, which makes me very nervous. 4 years ago when he was running, he said to John McCain, he said, John McCain wants to cut your Social Security. I don't, I won't. And in fact, he came up with a very sensible proposal to lift the cap on taxable income, to do away with the absurdity that a billionaire is contributing the same amount into the Social Security Trust Fund today as somebody making $110,000. Yeah. And Obama said that's wrong. Let's lift the cap. Let's start at $250,000, and that can fund Social Security for the next 75 years. Obama was right then. I introduced legislation to do just what Obama was talking about. But here's what makes me nervous, and the American people got to get up and involved in this. Obama is not talking about that issue today. So we've got to put pressure on Democrats as well as Republicans. So let's rally the American people around this issue, Tom.
Right, and even call the White House comment line. And
absolutely.
And if you go to BarackObama.com, you can send them emails and comments.
Four simple words: do not cut Social Security.
There you go, which is a guarantee for everybody, literally from birth to death. Senator Bernie Sanders. Thank you, Senator Sanders.
Take care. Bye-bye.